Daniel Brooks sat in the control room, staring at the blinking screen. The message had arrived hours ago, but he could not stop looking at it. It was from a species humans had only seen on scans before, the Virelans. The message was simple. It said, "Repairs needed. Urgent." Coordinates attached. There were no details about what kind of repairs. Humans had no idea what they would find. Daniel leaned back in his chair and rubbed his eyes. He was only 25, but he had worked on machines most older engineers could not understand. His friend and colleague, Clara Hughes, entered the room carrying a tray with 2 cups of coffee. "You look tired," she said. "Here, drink this, you'll think better." Daniel took the cup and smiled. "Thanks, Clara, I think we'll need it. We don't even know what we're repairing." Clara sat down next to him. She was an astrophysicist and had worked with Daniel for 3 years. She studied stars, planets, and strange signals from deep space. "The Virelans are asking for help. That's big news," she said. "But do you think we can do it?" Daniel shrugged. "We can try. Humans are good at fixing things. That's what we do. If they asked for repairs, we can handle it." Meanwhile, around the world, teams of engineers, scientists, and space crews were preparing. News channels broadcast the story nonstop. The president gave a short speech. "Earth has been asked to help another species. This is a chance to show the galaxy what humans can do. We will send our best." Daniel and Clara were chosen to lead a small team. They would take the fastest repair ship available. The ship was called the Pioneer. It was not armed, not fast like a fighter, but it had tools, machines, and laboratories. Daniel and Clara both knew one thing clearly. They would have to think fast. They would have to be creative. The message from the Virelans gave almost no instructions. Before leaving Earth, Daniel walked through the hangar looking at the fleet. Small repair ships, cargo ships, and a few scout vessels were lined up. Each had been upgraded quietly by human engineers. Some engines were faster. Some computers could think faster than most aliens expected. Daniel felt a small thrill. Humans did not just repair. Humans improved. That might be dangerous, but it could also save lives. Clara came up behind him. "Daniel, the crew is ready." "Are you ready?" she asked. Daniel smiled and nodded. "Let's go. We don't know what we will find, but humans do not back down from challenges. That's all I know." The journey began with a calm, steady launch. Earth watched as the Pioneer and its small escort of repair ships left orbit. Inside the ship, Daniel and Clara studied the coordinates. The station was far, beyond the edges of the explored systems. It looked old, fragile, and very large. Even from afar, it seemed powerful but somehow damaged. As the Pioneer traveled, Daniel and Clara worked. They checked tools, machines, and data. Every system was reviewed twice. Humans did not just fix things, they prepared for any surprise. Clara set up experiments to analyze the station remotely. Daniel checked every engine, every control panel, and every robotic assistant. One evening, while they were working, Daniel poured himself another cup of coffee. He offered one to Clara. "You know, the aliens didn't ask for coffee, but I think they will like it," he said, smiling. Clara laughed. "They probably have never tasted it. Maybe it will make them more awake for our repairs." Daniel shook his head, smiling. "We can do this. We can fix it and maybe even make it better. That is what humans do." During the trip, Daniel and Clara talked about humans and their way of thinking. Humans were curious, inventive, and brave. They did not follow rules blindly. They always tried to improve things to make life easier, safer, or faster. Other species often followed instructions exactly. Humans changed things. Sometimes that caused trouble, but sometimes it saved everyone. Clara pointed at a screen. "Daniel, look." Sensors are picking up energy readings from the station. Some systems are active, some are dead. It looks old, but it still functions in some areas. Daniel studied the readings. "We will have to be careful. Some parts might break if we touch them. But other parts we can improve. We can make it stronger, faster, better." As days passed in space, the team grew closer. They told stories, joked, and drank coffee together. They shared small moments of laughter even as the stars passed by outside. The long trip made them think about humans and their place in the galaxy. They were small, fragile, and yet capable of great things. Finally, the Pioneer approached the Vireland station. From a distance, it looked massive. Parts of it were glowing, parts were dark and dead. The structure seemed uneven, like it had grown over centuries. Humans felt both excitement and fear. They did not know what they would find, but they were ready to try. Daniel took a deep breath. "Clara, this is it." We have no idea what the aliens expect, but humans don't just fix things. We make them better. Let's see what we can do. Clara nodded. And maybe we can give them some coffee, too. The team laughed softly, a little nervously. They began their final approach. Sensors scanned the station, showing broken machinery, open corridors, and strange energy fields. The Virelands had not done much maintenance in a long time. Their technology was advanced but delicate. Humans could see immediately what needed repairs. Daniel and Clara looked at each other. "This is going to be a big job," Daniel said. Clara smiled. "And we are humans, we never do small jobs." The ship docked carefully and the hatch opened. The repair team floated into the station. They were ready to work. They were ready to repair, but more than that, they were ready to enhance. Humans always found ways to improve, and soon the Virelands would see it for themselves. Even before they began, Daniel and Clara knew one thing clearly. This was not just a repair mission. This was a mission to show what humans could do. They would not just fix. They would make the station stronger. They would think, act, and create in ways no other species might have imagined. And they would do it all with the simple comforts they loved: coffee, laughter, and determination. As the first tools activated and lights flickered to life on the station, Daniel looked at the team. "Let's get to work. Humans are here to repair and to enhance." Clara nodded, adjusting her sleeve. "And to survive anything that comes." The journey of repair, discovery, and human ingenuity had begun. The galaxy was about to see what humans could do when asked for help. And the Virelands, who thought they only needed repairs, would soon learn that humans offered more than they could imagine. The Pioneer and its small fleet of repair ships moved slowly toward the massive station. From a distance, the station seemed enormous, stretching far beyond the view of human sensors. Parts of it glowed faintly, showing signs of life, while other sections were dark and broken. The station looked fragile, like a machine that had survived for centuries but needed care. Daniel Brooks checked the control panels again. "Clara, the docking ports look unstable. We need to be careful." Clara Hughes studied the readings. "Some ports are damaged. We will need to stabilize them before we can send in the repair bots. And some corridors are exposed to space. If we are not careful, even a small accident could be dangerous." Daniel nodded. "Then we start carefully. Humans fix things one step at a time." As the repair team approached the station, small Vireland craft emerged. The aliens were taller than humans, with pale, smooth skin and elongated fingers. Their eyes glowed softly in shades of blue and green. They floated alongside the human ships, watching closely but making no move to attack. A Vireland spoke through a translator. "You are not needed for combat. We request only repairs. Proceed with caution." Daniel gave a polite nod. "We understand. We will repair and enhance if we can. Humans work best when they improve what they touch." The Virelands blinked. There was no translation for the word enhance, but their gestures showed confusion. Daniel smiled lightly. "You will see." The human ships docked and the repair team floated inside the station. The corridors were long and dark. Broken panels, exposed wires, and strange, humming machines filled the hallways. Daniel led the team. "Stay alert and check every system. We do not know what might fail if we touch it." Clara looked at a broken energy panel. "This is old tech. It still works, but barely. If we repair it, we should think about making it stronger. Otherwise, it will fail again." Daniel nodded. "Exactly. Humans fix, but humans improve. Let's do it right." The team split into groups. Some worked on the life support systems, some on energy conduits, and others on propulsion. Robots helped, but humans used their hands where machines could not. Daniel and Clara moved through the station, checking every detail. As the day passed, the humans noticed something strange. The Virelands did not drink, eat, or sleep as humans did. Their energy came from the station itself. Daniel poured a small cup of coffee from a portable machine and offered it to one of the Virelands. The alien touched the cup hesitantly. It sniffed the aroma and sipped. Its eyes widened in surprise. It seemed to enjoy the taste. Daniel laughed. "See, humans bring more than tools, we bring life." The Virelands watched carefully. Some of them tried a sip too. They moved awkwardly, mimicking human gestures. Clara smiled. "Even a small thing like coffee can make a difference. It wakes you up, makes you alert, and it makes you curious." As repairs continued, Daniel and his team started enhancing the station. The life support system was not just fixed, it was made more efficient. Power conduits were rerouted to prevent future breakdowns. Energy shields were added around critical systems. Small defense drones were activated, hidden inside maintenance panels. Clara noticed a section of the station that controlled communications. Daniel, if we upgrade this, we can make it faster and more reliable. That way, you can send alerts before any problems reach the rest of the station. Daniel nodded. Do it. Humans do not wait for problems. We prevent them. The Virelans watched silently. They had asked for simple repairs, but humans went further. They did not ask for permission to enhance. They just did it. By the second day, the station began to feel alive again. Lights glowed brighter, engines hummed steadily, and energy shields stabilized the fragile hull. The Virelans began to follow the humans around, pointing at systems they did not understand, asking questions, and sometimes copying human actions. Clara walked down a hallway with one of the Virelans. These machines can work faster if we adjust the energy flow, she explained. The alien listened, watching her hands move over the control panels. It seemed to learn quickly, absorbing the new knowledge. Meanwhile, Daniel checked the docking bays. We should prepare for any visitors, he said quietly. Something tells me we are not alone out here. Clara frowned. What do you mean? Daniel pointed to the sensors. There is an energy signature nearby, too big to be a patrol ship. Maybe a passing trader or something hostile. Either way, we should be ready. The Virelans did not seem worried. Their technology was advanced, but they had no experience with combat. Daniel made a note to strengthen defenses quietly. The station would remain functional, but humans always prepared for the unexpected. By the third day, the enhancements were complete. Life support, propulsion, communications, and energy systems all worked better than before. The station was stronger than it had been in centuries. Daniel smiled. This is how humans repair, we fix, and we improve. Clara laughed. And we brought coffee. Who knew it could help diplomacy too? Some of the Virelans began experimenting with coffee themselves. They moved awkwardly, spilling a little, but they seemed to enjoy it. The humans laughed with them. Even in space, simple pleasures mattered, but Daniel could not ignore the readings. The energy signature from before was approaching. He called Clara over. It's getting closer. I think it's a fleet, not friendly. Clara looked at the display. A fleet, how many ships? Daniel counted slowly. At least 20. They are large, armed, and moving fast. We have to prepare. He turned to the repair team. Everyone listen. We are here to repair, but humans do not back down. We have strengthened the station, and we have tools. Stay alert and follow instructions. The Virelans were confused. We only requested repairs. Why are you preparing for battle? Daniel smiled calmly. Sometimes repairs are not enough. Humans think ahead. We protect what we fix. As the ships approached, the humans activated the hidden defenses. Energy shields glowed along the hull. Defense drones floated silently, ready to respond. Communication arrays were enhanced to detect incoming ships. The Virelans watched in awe. They had never seen preparation like this. Daniel checked his own systems and took a deep breath. This will test humans more than repairs ever could, he said quietly. Clara put a hand on his shoulder. We are ready. Humans are clever. We will handle it. The fleet approached the station, closing fast. Daniel and Clara gave orders calmly. The drones moved into position, shields expanded, and sensors scanned for weaknesses. Every repair and enhancement made earlier now served as protection. The Virelans whispered among themselves. They did not understand fully, but they could see humans acted differently than any species they knew. Humans did not wait for instructions. Humans did not fear. Humans acted with confidence, creativity, and determination. Daniel walked along the corridor, checking the drones. Clara, they will see what humans can do, and the Virelans will learn that we bring more than repairs. We bring strength, creativity, and coffee, he added with a smile. Clara laughed softly. Yes, coffee is part of it. Alertness, energy, curiosity. Simple things, but they matter. As the first ships of the approaching fleet came into range, the humans were ready. Not with weapons alone, but with intelligence, preparation, and quick thinking. The enhancements they had added would be tested. Every repair, every improvement, every small act of foresight mattered now. Daniel checked his console one last time. The first step is repairs. The second step is enhancement. The third step will be to show them humans never back down. Clara adjusted the shields and looked at the approaching fleet. And the Virelans will see what humans are capable of, not just for repair, but for protection and courage. The Pioneer and its crew floated silently, ready. The station, now repaired and enhanced, gleamed faintly in space. The hidden drones waited. Energy shields hummed softly. The human team sipped coffee, checked their tools, and waited for the moment they might need to act. The repair mission had begun as a simple task, but humans had already transformed it into something greater. They had repaired, enhanced, and prepared. The approaching fleet would soon learn that humans were not ordinary helpers. Humans were innovators, protectors, and fighters when needed. Daniel looked at Clara and whispered, "This is just the beginning. Humans never stop at repairs. We go further." Clara nodded, smiling, "And the Virelands will never forget it." The first day of real work was over. Repairs and enhancements were complete, but the humans and Virelands now faced the unknown. The approaching fleet would test everything humans had done, and Daniel, Clara, and their team were ready to meet that challenge. Even as darkness fell outside the station, the lights inside glowed steadily. Humans had brought life, energy, and strength. And they were about to show that even in the vast, quiet emptiness of space, humans could make a difference. The morning came quietly, but the calm did not last. Daniel Brooks was at the control panel when the sensors began to blink. "Clara," he said, his voice steady but alert, "they're here." Clara Hughes looked up from the energy displays, her brow furrowed. "How many?" Daniel counted quickly. "At least 20 ships, large, armed, and fast. They are Korvax, not friendly." The Virelands froze. They had not expected this. One of them spoke through the translator. We have no weapons. We cannot fight." Daniel nodded slowly. "We know that is why humans prepare. You requested repairs, but we also enhanced the station. You will see what humans can do." He turned to the team. "Everyone take your positions. Defense drones online, shields at full capacity. We are not just here to repair, we are here to protect." The first Korvax ships entered sensor range. They were massive, with dark, jagged hulls and weapons glowing red. They moved with confidence, expecting no resistance. The humans could see their formation, a line meant to intimidate. Daniel knew it would not last. "Clara, ready the communication arrays. I want early warning of every move they make," Daniel said. Clara nodded. "Already done." "I've linked the arrays to the defense drones. They will respond instantly." The Korvax fired first. Red beams streaked toward the station, striking lightly at the shields. The humans had predicted this. The drones moved in precise patterns, intercepting beams before they reached the hull. Some Korvax ships fired missiles, but automated interceptors destroyed them in midair. The Virelands gasped. They had never seen defense systems work with such speed and accuracy. One whispered to another, "They are protecting us." Daniel moved through the control room, giving orders calmly. "Focus on defense first. Keep the drones tight. Use the station's energy shields. We fight smart, not just hard." The Korvax pressed forward, expecting the station to crumble. But it did not. The shields absorbed hits, drones intercepted missiles, and human engineers had activated emergency energy conduits that rerouted power instantly to weak spots. Daniel's fingers flew over the controls. "Deploy decoy drones. Make them think there are more ships than we have. Keep them confused." The first Korvax ship fired at the decoy. Its beam passed harmlessly through an empty corridor. Another missile struck one, exploding in space with no damage to the station. The humans smiled faintly. Strategy was working. Clara adjusted the energy shields. "Daniel, some Korvax ships are trying to flank us. We need to reinforce the side corridors." "Do it. Divert extra power. Let's make them regret coming here," Daniel replied. The humans were calm, but the Virelands were amazed. They had asked for repairs, but humans had created a fortress. They had not just fixed, they had enhanced. They had planned, prepared, and thought beyond what any other species might do. The Korvax began to notice. "They are resisting," one of their commanders growled. "This is not a simple repair mission. Something is different." Inside the station, Daniel checked the drones. They moved like soldiers, striking missiles and enemy ships with calculated precision. Clara monitored the energy shields, keeping them stable even as the Korvax fired relentlessly. The humans on the station were not armed with weapons in the traditional sense. Their weapons were machines, computers, and creativity. They used the station itself as a defense. Energy shields formed walls. Drones flew in patterns the Korvax could not predict. The humans improvised at every step. Daniel turned to the Virelands. "You see now, humans do not follow rules blindly. We adapt, we think, we protect. Watch closely and learn." One violin floated next to him, eyes wide. "We have never seen this before. Your methods, they are unlike any we know." Daniel smiled. "That is because we are humans. We do more than what is asked. We improve, we protect, we survive." The Korvax tried to hit the station directly. They fired in unison, beams striking the hull. Sparks flew inside corridors, but the humans had anticipated weak points. Reinforced energy conduits absorbed the impact. The station shivered but did not break. Clara pointed at a screen. "Daniel, they are concentrating fire on the docking bays. If they break that, our reinforcements cannot arrive." Daniel nodded. "Then we counter. Activate the hidden defense drones in the docking bays. Use the station's engines to create minor shifts. Throw off their aim." The hidden drones sprang to life. They fired small energy pulses that reflected beams, causing the Korvax to miss. Engines thrummed briefly, tilting sections of the station slightly. The Korvax shots passed harmlessly through empty corridors. The Virulans floated nearby, watching in awe. "They are clever," one said. "This is not just defense, this is strategy." Daniel looked at his team. "Keep calm, every move we make is measured. They are strong, but we are smarter." The humans used every advantage. Sensors predicted missile paths. Drones acted before the Korvax realized the attack. Shields adapted, rerouting energy instantly. The station became a fortress that seemed alive, responding to every move of the enemy. A Korvax ship broke formation and tried to ram the station. Daniel activated a hidden energy pulse. It struck the ship, sending it spinning into empty space. The remaining ships hesitated. They had underestimated humans. Clara smiled. "They didn't expect us to fight like this." Daniel laughed softly. "They never do." Humans think differently. We see possibilities where others see limits. The battle continued for hours. The Korvax attacked relentlessly, but the humans anticipated each move. The drones adapted. Shields shifted. Energy pulses struck at weak points. The Virulans began to help, using their technology in coordination with the humans. "Look," Clara said, pointing at a display. "The Korvax are starting to fall back. They are confused. They cannot predict us." Daniel nodded. "Good, keep pressure, but don't overextend. We want them to learn, not destroy completely. Humans show strength, but also control." The Korvax commander growled in frustration. His fleet was retreating. The humans' strategies had outsmarted them. They had expected an easy victory. Instead, they faced a species that thought, adapted, and acted with creativity. As the Korvax ships pulled away, the humans cheered quietly. Daniel smiled at Clara. "This is what I meant. Humans don't just repair, we improve, we protect, we survive. And sometimes we surprise the galaxy." Clara laughed softly. "And we did it all without even firing a traditional weapon, just brains, teamwork, and preparation." The Virulans gathered around the humans. Their eyes were wide with respect and amazement. One spoke slowly. We never knew repair could be so powerful. You did more than fix. You saved us." Daniel nodded. "We are humans. We do more than what is asked. We think ahead. We protect. We improve. That is who we are." The station was safe. Damage was minimal because of the humans' foresight. The Korvax retreated, but they would remember this encounter. Humans were not weak, and humans were not predictable. As the crew began to check the station for minor repairs after the battle, Daniel poured himself a cup of coffee. He handed one to Clara. "Even in battle, humans need small comforts," he said with a smile. Clara took a sip. "It keeps us alert. And it reminds us that we are still alive." The Virulans watched curiously as the humans drank coffee calmly, even after facing an enemy fleet. They were learning that humans combined creativity, courage, and simple comforts in a way that made them unique. Daniel walked through the corridors, checking drones and shields. "We are ready for anything," he said. "If another fleet comes, we will be ready too. Humans do not wait, we act." Clara adjusted the energy conduits. "They will not expect it. Humans never stop surprising." The station now glowed with renewed energy. Repairs were complete, enhancements active, and defense systems fully operational. The humans had shown that even a repair mission could become a display of courage, intelligence, and ingenuity. As night fell over the distant stars, Daniel looked out from the observation deck. The Korvax ships were gone, but the lesson remained. Humans were not just helpers. Humans were thinkers, planners, and fighters when needed. Clara joined him, sipping coffee. "Do you think they will come back?" Daniel shook his head slowly. "Maybe, but they will remember. They will remember that humans are clever, brave, and unpredictable, and that is how we survive. The Virelands floated nearby, silent but respectful. They had learned a valuable lesson. Humans were not ordinary. Humans were a force of innovation and courage. They did not just repair, they enhanced. They did not just survive, they thrived. The battle was over, but the story of humans had only begun. Daniel, Clara, and their team had proven that even in the vast, quiet reaches of space, humans could make a difference. They repaired, enhanced, and protected. And the galaxy would never forget it. The Korvax ships were gone, disappearing into the dark emptiness of space. The station, once fragile and broken, now stood strong and glowing. Daniel Brooks walked slowly through the corridors, checking systems. Everything worked. Life support, engines, communication arrays, shields, and even hidden defense drones, all were functioning perfectly. Clara Hughes followed him, holding a small tablet with energy readings. It's stable. The damage from the attack was minimal thanks to the enhancements. We did more than repair, it's stronger than it has ever been. Daniel nodded, a small smile on his face. That's how humans do it. We don't just fix what is broken, we make it better. And we protect it too. The Virelands were gathering in one of the large chambers. They floated silently, observing the humans as they worked. Their eyes glowed softly, showing curiosity and something else, respect. One of them stepped forward, speaking through the translator. We are grateful. You did more than we asked. You protected us. We have never seen anything like this. Daniel bowed slightly. We are humans. We do not see limits. We think, we act, and we protect. That is who we are, Clara added, and sometimes we bring coffee. She held up a small cup and smiled. The Virelands tilted their heads. One of them reached out cautiously and touched the cup. It seemed to taste it. Its eyes widened in surprise. It awakens the mind, it said slowly. Daniel chuckled. Exactly. Small things make a difference. Coffee wakes you up, helps you think, and keeps you alert. Humans value simple things, even in the middle of danger. The Virelands began to smile, a gesture humans could understand. They floated closer, touching panels and moving their hands over machines the humans had enhanced. Daniel watched them learn. Humans had not only repaired and enhanced the station, they had taught the Virelands a new way of thinking. Clara walked alongside one of the aliens. See these energy conduits? She asked. We rerouted power so the shields could respond faster. It protects the station automatically. The alien touched the controls carefully, nodding. We did not think of this. We only repair what is broken. You think ahead. This is new to us. Daniel smiled. Humans always think ahead. We solve problems before they become disasters. The Virelands floated quietly for a moment, then one of them spoke again. Humans are not only strong but clever. You protect, improve, and adapt. This is remarkable, Daniel nodded. That is how humans survive and thrive. Over the next few days, the humans continued minor repairs and taught the Virelands some of their methods. Small drills were held to show how drones could respond to attacks, how energy shields could shift automatically, and how minor adjustments could prevent large failures. The Virelands listened carefully, learning quickly. Daniel watched them and felt proud. We didn't just fight, we didn't just repair, we taught them something new. That is what humans do, Clara smiled. And we didn't lose anyone, we used brains, not just strength. That is even better. Meanwhile, the Virelands began to share their culture too. They showed humans energy patterns that stored information, ways to communicate silently, and methods of moving in zero gravity with grace. Humans watched with fascination. They asked questions, learned, and even tried some of the moves. It was awkward at first, but laughter soon filled the station. One evening, Daniel poured coffee for the crew and the Virelands. Try this, he said. The aliens sipped carefully. Some liked it, some were unsure, but they tried it anyway. Daniel watched them and smiled. Even in war and repair, humans bring life. We share, we teach, and we connect. Clara nodded. And they are learning that. Humans are not just helpers, we are teachers too. After a few more days, the station was fully stable, enhanced, and ready for the future. The Virelands held a small ceremony. They presented Daniel and Clara with symbolic gifts, patterns of energy that represented respect and trust. One Vireland floated forward. You have changed us. You have shown strength, wisdom, and care. We will remember humans forever. Daniel accepted the gift. We are humans. We do more than repair. We think, we improve, and we protect. That is what we offered you. Take it and use it wisely. The Virelands smiled, their glowing eyes showing admiration. We will, and we will teach others of humans. You are unique. As the humans prepared to leave, Daniel looked back at the station. It was no longer fragile. It was alive, enhanced, and ready for anything. We did well, he said quietly. Clara nodded. Yes, but this is only the beginning. Humans will be remembered here for a long time. The fleet undocked, and the Pioneer began its journey back to Earth. The Virelands waved from the station, a gesture humans could recognize. Daniel and Clara smiled, feeling a quiet pride. They had done more than repair. They had enhanced, taught, and protected. During the trip home, the crew reflected on their experiences. They shared stories, laughed, and sipped coffee. Even in the vast emptiness of space, they felt alive and connected. Daniel spoke to the team. We went there to repair. We found danger. We enhanced, we protected, and we taught. That is what humans do. We never stop at what is asked. We go further. That is why we thrive. Clara added, and we share life even in small ways. Coffee, laughter, teamwork, those matter too. That is human strength. The crew smiled. They had learned something important. Humans were not just strong. They were clever, caring, and creative. They could face danger, solve problems, and leave a lasting mark on the galaxy. When Earth came into view, the crew felt excitement. They would be welcomed as heroes, but Daniel knew the real achievement was not recognition. It was the proof that humans could face the unknown, improve what they touched, and protect others without losing themselves. Clara looked out the window at the blue planet. We will be remembered not just for repairs, but for how we act. Humans leave a mark, and that mark is more than machines. It is life, thought, and courage. Daniel nodded. Yes, and the galaxy will see more humans soon. They will come for help, and we will respond. Not just with repairs, but with enhancements, guidance, and support. That is what humans offer. The Pioneer entered orbit, and the crew prepared for landing. The world below was busy, unaware of the adventure and the lessons learned far away. But soon, humanity would hear the story. They would know that humans were capable of more than expected. When the landing was complete, Daniel stepped out into the sunlight. Clara followed. They were tired but satisfied. The galaxy had seen humans in action. They had repaired, enhanced, protected, and inspired. Daniel looked at the sky. We went to help, we found more. That is what humans do. We do not just follow instructions. We think, we act, and we improve. We leave a mark. Clara smiled, holding her cup of coffee. And sometimes we bring coffee to share. Simple things matter even in space. The Vireland's gifts remained on the ship, a reminder of the adventure and the respect humans had earned. Daniel knew this was only the beginning. Other civilizations would ask for help. Humans would respond. Not with fear, not with hesitation, but with courage, creativity, and care. The crew walked into the city feeling pride. They had done their duty and more. The station would thrive, the Virelands would remember, and humans had shown their true nature. They did not just repair. They enhanced, they protected, they inspired, and the story of Earth's people would travel across the stars, carried by those who had seen it firsthand. Humans were more than helpers. Humans were thinkers, protectors, and creators, and the galaxy would never forget it. Daniel raised his cup to the sky. To humans, he said softly. Clara raised hers too. To curiosity, courage, and coffee, she said, laughing. The stars twinkled, distant but watching. The humans had returned, but their mark on the galaxy had just begun. Earth was asked for repairs. They responded with enhancements, coffee, and a battle fleet.